Boom! Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange. Today I'm at the 2022 Ocala RV show. That's right. And we are actually part of the Coachmen Beyond owners groups. So we've got a lot of Coachmen Beyonds right next to us here. We've got quite a few. I'm gonna run through it and count and see exactly how many we have here. So what I wanna do here in this video is give you guys some advice, and we're calling it, so you've decided you wanna buy a Class B camper van. What are the top 5 things that you need to think about, know, or do before you even get all up into that purchase? From my point of view, as someone who's owned one for about a year, I've made some mistakes, and I'd like to share that with you guys and maybe give you a little bit of advice. And maybe to twist it up, we'll get some other folks here, maybe some industry professionals, to give us some advice as well, kind of counterpoint, see what they think versus what I think. So, you know, we're gonna get into that video. That's what we're gonna do. Let's kick this off right up. I see Lola showed up. Let's kick this off right now. All right, Lola Strange.
Yes, sir.
I see you're wearing a Coachman. Ask me about my Coachman shirt. I don't know what's going on with that. So listen, I want to count how many vans are here. If you guys look, so this is our van. You can always tell our van right now at this point because it's got the black rims on it, right? These are the Method Racing wheels that are on it here. But look, here's vans. There's vans all over. There's vans. There's vans. There's vans. There's vans. There's some guy waving at me. I have no idea who that is. There's vans over there. There's vans over here. Vans over here. So,
Working on it.
what?
Sorry, I wasn't able to talk to you guys about yesterday.
Lola's doing some hanging out here. So here's what I'm gonna do real quick while Lola has a little conversation here with Nick. So here's my van. Let's count and see how many are here. So we're gonna start here. This is the marker. So 1. Let's go. 2. All right, there you go. 3. Oh, my hair is getting caught in this thing. So we're at 3 here, I guess. 4. We're gonna have to sneak past this little tent here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna go behind this tent. I think I saw this one from behind. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13. And by the way, there's some vans on the outside. So I think, what was that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right here. Hey, there you go. This is how to have fun outdoors.
Hey, that's Gypsy. How you doing,
Gypsy,
Hank?
hey, what's going on, man?
How's it going?
Good. How's everything? Good morning.
It's a great morning.
Yeah.
Beautiful out here. All these CrossFits, all these Beyonds.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. So we're having a great time out here.
Right. I'm counting all of them. Yours is 15, I think.
Okay. All right.
15, huh? 22. Oh, Lola's at 22. Okay, so.
All right.
As you guys can tell, my count is already off. Yeah, I get distracted when I'm counting stuff. So, obviously, I thought it was 15 at this point, but who knows? Or 17, or something like that. Lola's way past me. She's probably counting other vans, but I'll catch up to her in a second. So make sure you check out How to Have Fun Outdoors, right?
Right. How to have fun outdoors.
And you are
Tommy, and we've got
Tommy
Alice from Italy.
and Alice,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I don't think you're gonna forget Alice.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
She's the star of the channel,
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah. Tommy, you just hold the camera.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I know how that is. Okay, but we'll do some hanging out with these guys here. Absolutely. Okay, so let me keep going down the list. I don't know where Lola's at. How's it like? Those guys were 7. I'm gonna say 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Lola's at 26 over there, I think. How much? 45. 45?
Yes.
Okay.
Layer back there.
Yeah. Oh, at this point, look, there's folks on the outside. There's vans out there. Look, there's vans over there. There's vans over here.
These guys were from last Ocala RV
Yes.
show.
Yeah, we was here last
Okay.
year.
Yeah, these
These
guys
guys
are
from
from
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Ricky
Yes,
is
and
now
they're
retired.
Yep.
Woo, woo.
From home of Louisiana.
Living that life.
I know.
You know, so I'm counting. I'm going all the way back to my van. So Lola says it's 45. I'm way off. More vans. More vans. More.
Over there at a time.
More vans. Hey.
Do you want to fill in the
There's you know, some people snuck in not beyond right there. Like that's a Coachmen, but that's the Galleria. So, okay, so here we go. Oh no, you can't count the Galleria.
Bruce? I leave them out.
Oh, okay, so -1 from whatever Lola said. We're not leaving him out, but I just want to show everyone all Ford Transit vans and back to mine. So we just made like a big circle, and there are some on the outside, like Lola was saying.
There's more coming tomorrow because Rodell's coming tomorrow. A few more folks are
Yeah.
coming tomorrow.
Rodell, Typhoon Adobo is going to be here. Some other people are coming in tomorrow. And a friend of ours was here. So Donna and Brad, shout out to them. And they took a big picture. So if I get that picture, they climbed up on top of their fifth wheel, took a big picture. So hopefully I'll get that and show you guys. But yeah, lots of vans out here. I think these guys know something about Coachmen Beyonds at least. And we know a little bit. We've had this here for a year. So let's get all up into that countdown right now. Let's do that. All right, so definitely I'm gonna use notes so that I can stay on page or whatever Lola wants me to do, because sometimes Lola feels like I go on. So just to recap, this is gonna be, you know, what are the 5 most important things to think about or do when you decide, like, you know, for the first time you're someone out there, you decide, hey, I want to buy a camper van. And Lola and I went through that, and I made what I think is a lot of missteps. I think it worked out really good for us, but I'm hoping that our, at this point, about a little bit over a year experience can help you guys out with a few things. So I just want to run down 5 things. I'm going to start like I usually do in countdown style from 5. Since we're at the 2022 Ocala RV show, I think it's a good opportunity to get some counterpoint from other people. So what I'm going to do here is give you guys my opinion separately, no other people around, and then, you know, we might talk to some professionals and say, hey, you know, give us a couple of things that you guys think folks should do before they get into buying a camper van. And as Lola has said here, you know, being here at the show, there are lots of people who are coming up to us and asking us, since we've done this for a year, asking our advice. They're asking other people as well. So I think this might be a useful video. So that being said, I'm gonna start from what I was showing you guys here when we started the video. My number 5 is gonna be hang out in the owners groups before you buy, right? It's a good way to figure out a lot of things about van life. As you can see, this owners group actually gets together from time to time. I think, what was it, Lola, 45 vans out here?
45 vans, more to come.
Yeah, more to come. Someone just pulled out. There'll probably be people pulling up. There's folks parked off outside of the little, like, square ring that we have going on here. You know, so especially if you're new to this, I think the owners group can be incredibly useful to you. And I would use it in this way. So if you're very new to this and you don't know what chassis you want to buy, because that's something you have to think about, like what chassis am I going to buy that my coach is built on? Class B camper van is built on a van chassis, the complete van, and then they build inside of that, and that build inside is called the coach or whatever you want to. So you have to decide those 2 things. What's the chassis and maybe what company is building inside, right? So a good way to use the users groups is if you're interested in getting a Sprinter van, or you don't know, like, hey, should I get a Sprinter van? Should I get a ProMaster? Should I get a Transit? You know, should I get it from Coachmen? Should I get it from American Coach, this company or that company? Then what you need to do, someone is making fun of me behind me here. Yeah, trying to throw me off. I'm a professional. You can't throw me off.
Are we interrupting anything? 1,000 pardons. groups.
I was just talking about the users groups. So
Oh, okay.
I was just telling people that if they're going to buy a van, the users groups are great.
Ask me about Coachmen.
Yeah.
Okay?
You can go to the users groups and you can ask about the Coachmen. You can ask about any companies that do the coach building. And you can also ask. There's users groups for what chassis.
They're
it
the
is,
number
like
one
transit.
best driving vehicles out there for a van.
The transit.
Yeah, the transit. We've driven the Rams. No power. You don't sit in there very nice. The Beyond is the only way to go.
What do you think about the Sprinters? Have you had a chance to drive those?
The Sprinters, they're a nice unit and everything, and they've upgraded them a lot. But the problem with the Sprinters, call up and to see where you can get it work done.
Right.
And if you can't get it worked on, it's not use. Why have it?
Yeah. If you can, there are places.
Oh yeah.
If you've got a local Mercedes dealership and they work on Sprinter vans, which they may do that if there's a lot of Sprinter work vans around.
But usually that's not the case. They won't work on vans at a regular Mercedes dealer.
Well, that also happens with some Ford Transit vans. So we live outside of Gainesville, and whenever I call up the Gainesville Ford dealership, they don't want to work on the van. So they tell you got to wait 2 weeks, and you have to actually put your van in our dealership for 2 weeks while it's waiting. Otherwise, you're not on the waiting list. So, but then I'll call. There's a town not too the same distance from me called Chiefland. And I call up their Ford dealership, and they're like, "Come in tomorrow." I'll go in tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'll be done by 10 o'clock in the morning.
You come up to Wisconsin, Hank, and my people, I can introduce you, and they'll work on your van.
Right. I got my own people, Russ. I got my own people.
I have inside people.
You do.
At the Ford dealership.
Russ knows about dealerships. He knows about this. This is
So
one thing.
if you have any problems, we can get you in.
Yeah. Russ has been at.
Yeah, I was just about to say that with the owners group, one of the things that you'll find too by hanging out in the owner groups, like you're saying, is the camaraderie, whether it's there or not.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
as you were going to say, we've seen Russ and Jane. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, we've seen you guys. We saw you in Indiana last year. Then we saw you in Vegas, I think, for SEMA show.
Yep.
So Indiana, that was at Coachmen.
Yep.
Vegas was at Shaw. Where else did we see?
SEMA.
SEMA show.
And then
SEMA show.
Tampa RV show.
Tampa RV show, and Ocala RV show. But this is,
maybe-
we expect to see them here. Here, I know I can't get away from Russ.
You would think
But-
by now they would invite us over, wouldn't you?
Right. Well, you guys are always welcome. If you're going through our neighborhood where we live, you're always welcome to come.
We've been stalking them for a couple years.
Is that what this is
now,
about? Is that what okay, you're welcome. You wore me down.
Well, if you would put all of these good videos out,
Oh, no.
and follow you,
Right.
we wouldn't be so interested in all the stuff you're doing. And now, just last night, I found out you're into ham radio.
Yeah,
Yes, are you a ham radio
congratulations,
guy?
You
Oh, thank
passed.
you.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
look,
you. Thank
I got my ham radio right here on me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, oh, that's my notes. That's my notes. So I got my ham radio right there. What's your call sign?
No, I'm not into ham radio.
Oh, you're not?
But I used to install CB radios and.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So you know what he's
I've,
talking about.
Yeah.
sold business band radios. And,
Okay, cool.
And,
Okay, yeah, business
and
band's cool.
I'm
cool
getting
too.
into the ham radio.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But I
Just
might need
because
a
of you.
I'll tell you what. Don't do what I do in there. You'll be in big trouble. Yeah. So let me wrap up this part, Russ.
Okay.
Let me wrap up this part. That's cool. You guys can go. So as you can see, we're here in a users group. Users groups do tend to meet up, but you can go on Facebook. I think is probably the most popular place for people to do users
Yep.
groups. You can go into the forums. I avoid those. I don't get into forums online, but users groups on Facebook, for example, is a really good place, and you could go through whatever brand, whatever chassis, whatever company you want to build it, whatever you want to know, and there's going to be folks there that will answer all of your questions. So that's the number 5 thing to do. All right, let's move on. I got to get my bodyguards for Russ. We're still here right now. We're still at the Coachmen Beyond meetup, and we actually have Nick Recchio.
Hello, hello.
Of Coachmen. You're from the Class B section,
Yep.
of course. You're the
Yes,
guy
sir.
that runs it, and you're actually, you along with Sunshine State, you guys kind of like put on this event and organized it with Dean,
Yep.
who runs the owners group.
Yep.
Thanks, first of all, for that.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, this is
awesome.
amazing. You don't very often see like an owners group like this show up with these many vehicles, much less Class B vans.
Correct.
You know, so I think we have right now, Lola was counting 45 Coachmen Beyonds here, starting from the beginning of you guys making Coachmen Beyonds a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even have a blue jeans.
Yeah.
Was an exterior that we had when I first started in 17.
Yeah,
So
I saw
pretty
that
cool.
lady over
pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah, and you guys, like yesterday, you're feeding folks here. I think you did dinner yesterday. There was some music out here, all kinds of good stuff. So I appreciate that. From my end, I always tell folks, you know, it's a really good thing to think about who you're buying something from. The dealership, also the people who build that thing.
Yep.
Just thinking about, hey, what happens after you buy.
Yep.
So we're having this whole video talking about 5 things that people who are brand new to this and they just decided they want to buy a Class B van, what do you think are some of the things that they should think about or do before they do that?
Well, the number one item that I would do is involve yourself in a group like this. You have now, Class Bs. I would say probably 50-60% of the folks here weren't previous RV owners.
Yeah, me.
So the familiarity,
Right.
And this level of interaction in the group is amazing because you've got a whole family of people to bounce questions off of. This morning we were interacting with a customer. He asked me a question that I had no idea about, and Dean knew exactly how to fix it.
Right.
And I was like, "What are you talking about? We didn't even know that."
It's amazing.
And so it's just more information. So if I were to rattle off 5 things that are important to me. We had to earn our reputation. We're still just a very small division, but I think we're doing a really good job.
I agree with that.
Top thing, and it's real hard right now, but I always encourage buy local or have a very strong relationship. I know it's easy for me to say buy local when you can't find the products right now because there's, we're having chassis issues and stuff
especially
selling.
with the Transits because they're so popular.
Yep, product selling is quick as it delivers. Have that relationship with a local dealer. That's number one. Number 2, buy something from a brand that's somewhat established. We've got new Class B manufacturers entering the market every day. I didn't start this company with my money, Coachmen. It's Coachmen and Forest River's money. While we've been building RVs for over 50 years, the B vans are somewhat new to us. So it took a little bit of time to, learning curve, but very established company. And we're, one thing is the company you buy. What's their reputation? And you can learn that by being involved in a group or shadowing one of the brand's groups.
Yeah, and just looking and seeing how the companies interact with that group.
Yep. Yeah. And, customers are real important. I don't know everything. I came over here with all these years of RV experience. I knew nothing about these RVs. So the customers, we're only as good as our customers. And if you're not willing to listen to customers' feedback, you're just not going to get it all. You're just not going to complete the story.
And you have some very smart customers out there. Not this guy.
No,
but there's some really smart folks
everybody's
out there.
got their own, their own specialty. We got Bruce and Russ, the No Electrical. We got a couple gentlemen over here that showed me their mods this morning.
Yeah.
Quite remarkable. Yeah. And he's a graphic designer. I go, I was thinking he was an engineer or something. He goes, no, I'm just a graphic designer.
But
there's
a guy that's a machinist. This white Beyond right
NASA.
here. That guy, that guy's a serious machinist, and I looked at the stuff he has, amazing. I'm going to try to do something with that when I get a chance.
So, number one, if you can buy local, buy from an established company. Again, there's a lot of B-van manufacturers out there. One of my acquaintances mentioned buying some of the more smaller boutique builders that are west of the Rockies. And they're building 30 to 40, 70 vans a year. We're building 1,000 vans a year. They can pay attention to some items a little bit differently than we can, okay? So, that's one item I've heard other people go custom. Well, I think we're about as custom as a current B-van manufacturer can be. A lot of our parts and pieces aren't what's over in that show. We're completely different. And then, do your homework. Especially, I'm going to reference back, if you're not an RVer, do your homework. And we have some stories. We've got some success stories out here where people just impulse purchased from influencers, and hey, I want to do that. And then we got some people that just it wasn't for them, and they traded their van back in.
Right.
So do your homework. And I don't like people. I understand things happen, but this is a big investment. So do your homework so you're not wasting that money.
Agree. Yeah.
Do your homework. Rent. Rentals. Rent a van. It's a particular person that needs to own these vans. I'm a claustrophobic person. When I first started this division, you couldn't get me in the vans. Now, today, this is the ultimate Swiss Army knife of RVing. There's nothing it can't do, and
Agreed.
it's nowhere it can't take you.
Yeah.
And then, I base the customer experience on how it is to deal with us. Also, the chassis that we're building on. Ford does a fantastic job. The last recall we had with Ford was in 18. I can't say that for some of the other chassis manufacturers. And we build on all of them, don't get me wrong here.
Right.
But
it's amazing, like Ford almost didn't even sell these Transits in America.
Nope.
Because they've been building these in Europe since the 50s.
Correct. And Winnebago previously built on this, and it was called the Paseo. And they stopped building on the Ford. I'm not sure why, but we absolutely love it, and we like all of our chassis manufacturers.
Yeah.
But surround yourself with other individuals. You've done a great job. I mean, what's cool about here is you can call Russ Johnson, you can call Dean, you can get a hold of Bruce.
Yeah.
And we're all helping each other.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard to get into dealers right now, but having this group. And one thing that I realized, that's where Winnebago had me. That's one big thing when I started here, how Winnebago customers help Winnebago customers.
Yep.
And it's really rewarding to see this small little idea that we had turn into this. And we've got
it's
all
amazing.
We've got all these, and it's not.
It's hard work on your part, I know for sure.
It's an obligation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obligated to you folks to run a good division,
right,
and to take care of our customers. And I always say this, and I truly, truly mean it. We're a customer service company that just so happens to build vans. And, you can ask all these people. I think we overdo it, but I'm good with that. I am good with that.
Yeah.
I
would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah. And congratulations to you. Also to Dean, who put this together. And of course, we can't forget Nick of Sunshine State RV. Those guys, I think it's the same thing. And I think some of the stuff you said happens there, right? But those guys, this is what they sell, and they really care about it. So all that work that needed to be done to coordinate the three of you guys turns out to be this, which from my point of view at the show, obviously I'm here, we're standing right next to my van, but I've seen lots of people coming to the show going, what is happening over there? I've been at the show and people are like, did you see there's just all these vans out there? So amazing thing, man. Well done.
I just walked through the show and somebody goes, do you have an event out there? Well, another rep. He goes, what are all your vans doing? I go, it's a customer thing, pretty cool. And he's like, but there's not like 3 vans out there, there's 40. I go, I know, I think it's actually 58 yesterday I counted, and we're losing some people and gaining. He's like, this is incredible.
Right.
Well, I get 50 opinions. I get 50 suggestions. I get 50 bits of information that I didn't have before. And, it's been a rough couple years for everybody. And this is so cool. This is just so cool to get everybody out, commingling, back to business as usual.
And on my part, man, this is probably, completely separate from the video that I'm doing. Who knows? But I really feel this. I've bought a lot of things, done a lot of stuff in my life. You do not very often see people who make something really care about after they've sold that thing off. You know what I mean? You guys build something and actually the dealerships buy them from you, right?
Yes, sir.
And even with like Sunshine State RV, for example, after they sell the things, they care. And after you sell it, you care. I was here last year when we had like, I don't know, what was it, like 12 vans or something like that last year. And you went around and talked to everyone. And then actually this year, Nick is here walking around talking to everyone, listening to people, including me. But it's a big deal because nothing's perfect. You've got like basically a vehicle and a house in one, and you're driving down the road, and I don't know, if I was out there, I would feel really comfortable knowing that the people who built that thing care about me after I've bought it. So
we're very proactive, and it's let's cut it off at the pass. If we see something, and I tell my team, communication. This is on my whiteboard and back in the office. Communication's free, and it's a two-way street. If somebody is not willing to listen to your customer, I don't care if it's a wedding ring or a van. We've got over 100 salespeople here. They're not on my payroll. I just treat them very well.
Yeah, some of these guys are volunteering, and they're at the Sunshine State RV booth. Lola, look here. We'll show Lola if I haven't shown it already. Lola's asked me about my my Coachmen right there. See that?
Super cool.
Yeah,
super cool.
So, and there's a whole bunch of people doing that, and they're talking to people. And just think about this: these aren't people who bought something and everything was awesome and perfect, and they were riding on moonbeams or whatever. They've had issues, but they've interacted with you guys, and that's why they're willing to get out there and do it for you.
And one last item I want to add on the 5. B vans have just it's like this 30% growth year over year over year over year over year. So there's a lot of dealers calling us every week. Hey, we want to take on your line. Hey, we want to take on your line. Hey, we want to take on your line. So if I'm a customer and I'm going into a dealership, there's a lot of consolidation, big dealerships right now. We're buying a lot of small mom and pop shops. Hey, how long have you been selling Class Bs? How long have you been servicing Class Bs? How long have you carried Class Bs as your lineup? Well, we just got them. Well, their service department's not quite up to speed. So somebody that's been selling B vans for 3 to 5 to 6 to 10, those are the guys. If you're buying B van, go to the specialists. Go to the guys that know. Go to the guys that have seen a lot more than the new trailer tech or a Class C tech. These are very techy items. Hank's got lithium generator on this particular unit. You got the Firefly interfaces. They're very techy products, and we want them repaired correctly, and you're only going to get that with experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've walked around and asked people from different places, like, hey, what's up with this van? Does it have this? Does it have that? And they don't necessarily know. And I'm not mad at them about it, but I think you just want to think about that. You want to talk to people who this is what they do, they know about it, because later on you're going to regret if the folks don't know anything about it.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, this is a very proud moment for Coachmen.
Awesome, man. And I'm glad I even was part of it. No. All I did was show up.
Hey, that's all I did too. Nick.
No, you guys gave some really cool swag to everyone. We were showing that, like some cool bags from Coachmen, and there's some of the Dalmatians and some hats, and I think there's some hats that are really popular. And T-shirts and stuff. So thank you for that. Really
and we only hope to grow this. And
I hope more people. Look at what you're doing specifically. We're friends. I always tell people this, right? Like when I do things, I don't necessarily go, Coachmen is the most awesome. This has got to be number one. Here's the reason why, because I'm friends with you guys. But I tell people these guys actually care, and that's the number one thing for me. So it would be hard for me to leave being a Coachmen owner just because I've seen other people don't care. And this big deal. It's the biggest deal, Nick. I don't know if everyone gives you your kudos for that. It's important that people care.
Well, here's how it started. I bought a F-150, and it had power running boards. And I bought it used. I don't like buying new stuff, and it was a great truck, and the power running boards never worked as they should. I took them into my local Ford dealership, and I said, hey, here's some opportunities to make me happy. Number one, replace them. Well, you're out of warranty. Well, on YouTube, they have a video of a dude, he can drop them, and in 15 minutes, he can fix them. I can show you the video on how to make these running boards. Well, you're out of warranty. I go, okay. How about this? How about I buy another set? He goes, you're going to buy another set that is just going to break again? I go, okay, you've got a set of aftermarket power boards on the wall. How about I buy those? And you guys split it with me? No, we're not going to do that. And then I threw a couple ultimatums to him. I said, okay, so you're basically not going to work with me. And I bought vehicles from you, and this is the answer. This is as good as we can do. And you can ask my people back at home. That experience really irked me, and I still think about it today. And I'm not going to do that to somebody else. We're not going to. That's a waste of time. There's quick solutions. You might have to give a little bit, but maybe we made that error off the bat. We better fix it as quick as we made it. So I'm really blessed with a good team. We got Paul Wachowski, who's been promoted to warranty manager. We're building our customer service team continually. You know, the next step for us is I need more space, and hopefully we can buy a cornfield somewhere in Middlebury and put up a building and
that would be nice.
Get building a couple more vans. So we got great people. Company's great to work for, and I'm real lucky. We got good customers.
You put the work in, man. So if no one gives you the award, I'm officially giving you like the invisible award for best customer service.
I appreciate that. It means a lot.
And there's a whole bunch of people behind me that agree with that.
It's so cool, you know.
Yeah.
We've got. You walk around here, you've got so many different license plates. I mean,
there's people from New York here.
To see this van.
Yeah.
Bring all these people together is pretty remarkable.
Well, and what you guys are building. So, I was
really
telling some friends of ours that were here last night, they don't have a van, they have a fifth wheel. And I was like, you know, the cabinets are built by the Amish. And he was like, really? That's cool. And I was like, you know, there's dovetails in there. He was like, what?
Not just a little bit different than brand X, Y, and Z.
Yes,
so.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
We'll keep going forever if we don't stop.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
No problem, Loie.
Number 4, test drive. Okay, test drive. Really important. You want to go out and see a bunch of vans, test drive a few, you know. Kick the tires, check them out, make sure that you like that van, how it looks, the features of it and stuff like that, everything about it. You really want to try to live with the van a little bit, imagine yourself in there. So that's number 4. Let's go check this one out. This is an American Coach. This looks like I think it's an extended 4x4. Or it might just be, no, I think it's extended. Yeah, I think it's a 177. I'm gonna kick the AC on in this bad boy. There we go, bam. Right? Look, you can do things like this, Lola. Check this out, Lola. Press the button, close the door. I mean, if you're gonna put on the AC, you wanna close the door as well. You really wanna get into the van and imagine yourself living in it. Obviously, dealers aren't gonna really want you to take that van for a week or something like that and try it out. They may let you take it and drive it just to see. Like a big van like this, you wanna make sure that you feel comfortable actually driving this van, and you also want to make sure that you're going to be comfortable inside of it. So this one, I notice this is probably the MD4 if I'm getting my nomenclature right with American Coach. You want to be able to figure stuff like that out, and a place that you could go to where you would actually see a lot of these vans, so in a day, in a couple of days, would be the shows. You know, just like we're here at the Ocala RV show, all the different shows that happen around the country, especially ones that actually have vans in them, are cool places to go to. You can see that van, you can walk around, you can check it out, and just think to yourself, hey, it's the bathroom. You know, so as we go back here, you want to see, can I live with this bathroom? Is it going to be big enough for me? Is it too small? You know, that kind of stuff. You can really want to give yourself an opportunity. If we come all the way back here, Lola, and the door is actually open in the back of this, you know, this I think converts down into the bed. So if you get a chance to you want to do all those kinds of things, like the seats are turned around up front, you probably want to see, hey, how do I turn these seats around? And what will happen is at these shows, the sales people here should be able to do that, right? It's probably going to be a warning sign to you if they don't know that. But you yourself want to get some of that info in your head so that when you actually sign on the dotted line and you buy that vehicle, you know, you're happy with it and you know how to use things. So open the cabinet. Look in the cabinet, see what kind of storage you got in there, you know. Try out the TV. Look at the sink. This is the stove right here. And this is probably the sink, I'm thinking, that's gonna be here. Right, because the faucet should be a giveaway. You know, you want to see, hey, do I like the shape of that sink? Do I like the depth of it? All of those kinds of things you really want to think about when you're buying that van. Features, you know, you want to try, like, I like doing stuff like that. So yeah, that will be number 4. Try it out, right? Take it for a test drive. Try out the van. Imagine to yourself, hey, I've bought this thing and now I've got to live with it, and can I do that? Do I feel comfortable doing that? All right, so we're at the Sunshine State RV booth. We actually made it here. Look at that. And we ran into Ron. Ron, you're from American Coach
and Midwest Automotive Designs,
Yeah.
Elkhart, Indiana.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to get those two to become the, well, no, probably never.
If you talk production, they already are one.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, I told you guys I wanted to talk to some industry professionals. I think American Coach builds some really nice vans.
Sure.
You know, congratulations on all the kudos you get. Ron was, you know, showing off to me and all the different awards and stuff like that he's won, including
year.
you were number 2 on my list from last year.
Some of
We'll
us,
see what
some people
happens
give
this
us
year.
number 1, but it's okay.
Well, you know, like
No, we're very happy.
I think I'm more balanced and fair and balanced,
You
and
are.
you know, I calculate the numbers and crunch everything in the matrix a lot better than some
No,
other
Hank,
folks.
you're a true professional. True professional.
You guys are high up on the list.
Yes.
High up on the
Yes,
list.
we appreciate that.
Yeah. So, you know, what are the things? I'm doing 5 things that I think people should think about before they buy a van.
Okay.
You guys build these vans. You build great vans.
Yeah.
I'm sure you run into some folks, you know, who just jumped in, man,
Yeah.
to the deep end
Sure.
and didn't think about stuff. What would you really like folks to think about before they do this?
I'd like to think about energy for a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay, so your 2 different forms of energy. You're going to use a generator, or you're going to do a lithium package that a lot of people are offering as well.
Right.
Think about the amount of hours. How am I using the vehicle? Am I boondocking in a way that I'm going to be stationary for 3 whole days?
Right.
Then I probably need to go to a generator. Am I moving around constantly? Am I going to a different location every night? And I want ease of use. Then I want a lithium system.
Right.
Okay? So take that into account. Just because something is cool like lithium, but you're going to be stationary for a completely long period of time off
And
the
not have
grid,
anywhere to plug into.
then you're going to need a generator.
Yes, because solar panels aren't going to do it.
They're
Although
not.
people think there's.
For some reason, there's a stigma that they will be able to handle this
Right.
type of off-roading, that it doesn't allow the motor to actually charge up the batteries, which is needed.
Right.
That doesn't exist.
Okay.
So energy is a
point.
big one. Next one, along kind of with the energy part of it, ease of use, right? So is my vehicle's hot water off of propane? Is my vehicle's off of gas? Is it off diesel? Okay. What type of fuel am I using to actually heat my vehicle and my hot water?
Okay.
All right. For instance, like our lithium system is just off of the diesel fuel tank alone. Okay?
Okay.
Our propane is off. Our generator is off propane.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody's has their own type of system. all
Right.
So is it easy to get propane? Typically not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they need to think, like, where do I live, or where am I going?
Yes.
How am I going to get these
Yep.
things that are going to be in the van? And if they can't, then they need to factor that into what they get.
They
right?
do need to factor that into consideration. Another big thing that I think people need to consider is dumping.
Okay. Dumping. Yes.
Yeah. No one wants it.
Yeah.
What's walking
You run
around
into
here.
that after you buy it. You're
Exactly.
right. Yeah. Everyone thinks
It's
about that.
It's the worst job
Yeah.
about owning a Class B,
Right.
or any RV, or any boat, and it is
Trust me, I know.
removing sewage
Yes.
from your tanks.
Okay.
So, do I have a gravity tank? Okay.
Okay.
Is my gravity tank going to need a sandy flush for me to hook a hose up to every time?
Mm-hmm.
And then am I going to hope and pray that everything just comes out gravity-wise?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I have a macerator pump, like our Mercedes-Benz Patriots all do?
So what is a macerator?
So basically, it's a grinding up process that actually pumps out your sewage.
Okay.
But this not doesn't only just do your black tank sewage. This also does your dirty water, your gray tank.
Oh.
Okay. So these are certain items, and also, what type of hose is hooked up to my macerator? Is it an easy just reel that's all set up for me, like the Patriot here?
Yeah.
Or is it more just I'm pulling up a dump, and then I still have to have it go through a tank that's not really
I
designed
see.
for it?
Yeah. And so there's some things, I know I've spoken to some people that said, hey, I don't want to get down there on the ground and get
Oh,
dirty,
absolutely.
or they can't maybe, you know, for example, some people cannot do that. So, like I noticed this one goes in on its own. Not everything does that, right?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, this is a luxury piece, the Patriots. And that shows it there. But yeah,
Right.
it's something to consider,
Yeah.
definitely.
If that's a really important thing to you, you don't want to find that out after
No.
you've already bought it. Good
Speaking
point.
more on, since we're on this side of the van here, what about exhaust? Okay, so if we have a generator, we have
out right
exhaust
behind
coming
you.
out of us. So we have no.
from this side.
Yep. You have no exhaust pipe. Okay, you don't have an exhaust coming out into your area.
Yeah.
all right? You do have an exhaust for your furnace, so when it comes time for winter and stuff, you got you got exhaust coming out this way.
Yeah, that's not noisy, but the generator could be
Could
if
be
you're on
noisy.
this side. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, how loud's my air conditioner? Okay.
Right.
Do I actually withstand it during at night, or is
Yeah.
it too loud? The Dometic ones typically are louder than the 12-volt ones.
Yes.
Do I like that one or do I not?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things to consider. It's not just every single manufacturer has their own thing. Each has pros and cons. Every single thing has pros and cons. A lithium system has cons. A generator has cons. They both have pros.
Okay.
You got to figure out what works best for your lifestyle.
Yeah. I think you made some good points, asked some good questions here. My thing is, where do they find the answers for that?
Well, it's going to be themselves, right?
Okay.
So they're going to want to talk to a good dealer like Nick here, okay, which is a big talker.
Yeah.
And it'll give you everything you need to know.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Someone found us.
You just trying to hide from me?
No. Not at all. Yes, we are. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you want to maybe, you were saying talk to the dealers.
You want to talk to your dealers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you basically want to say, what am I doing? Am I boondocking? Am I going to plan 3 days? Do I just want something ease of use? I'm going to travel to a different location every day. Okay?
Okay.
Those are things you need to ask. And you got to think about and consider, how many hours does my propane tank last? Okay, is it a big 15-gallon that's going to last about 35 hours or so, a full tank? Or do I have a little tiny one that's sometimes 8 or 9 gallons?
Right.
Okay. Then it's almost thinking, okay, so I got to refill my propane about every 15 hours. These are things to consider, because every single Class B is a little different.
Yeah, like in my van, I don't fill that propane very often, but I'm just using it for heat, which I'm mostly in Florida.
Yeah, there you go.
So every now and then when I'm someplace cold, I'm using it, and that's really it. And it's not bad on that, but if it's running a generator, you probably want to change that more often.
Exactly. If you're, if you're in a really hot climate, and you're running it for your AC's power, and again, you're doing 3 days, something like that. These are things to consider.
Yeah,
okay?
awesome.
It's not just, hey, lithium's the cool new thing, I need to buy that.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily true.
That's a good point. Good point. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Okay, good ones. So there you go. That's Ron of American Coach / Midwest Automotive Design Group, LLC.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right, so number 3. Who are you going to buy your van from? You really want to think about that before you do it. What kind of dealership are you going to buy it from? I recommend buying from a dealership that only deals with vans. And obviously, I deal with the guys from Sunshine State RV. I think they're a great example of that. And there are a few, I'm going to say a few, that I don't know if there's a lot of folks like that, Lola, still.
Smaller type Class B or B.
Well, not necessarily smaller, but people who just deal in vans, I think if you go to a place that doesn't just deal in vans, they have pretty much everything, you're less likely to find someone that really knows and understands that van, right?
Well, you want to buy from someone that's an expert, right? Is what you're trying to say. Someone that's an expert in Class B vans.
You want the people you buy from to understand the vans that they're selling to you, to be able to answer questions and things that they can't answer, to be able to have contacts with the builders and all that kind of stuff. Maybe the makers of the chassis, the builders of the motorhome, or the coach side of it, however you want to categorize that. I think that's really important. And we've seen, even here at the show, we're talking to people at companies that are big companies, and they sell a lot of RVs all over the country, but their folks don't necessarily know or understand what they're selling. And I understand that, but me personally, I think that goes a long way to help you, especially because ultimately you're going to run into problems. Right. That's inevitable, right, Lola?
So especially for warranty repair issues, you want to make sure that dealership is still going to be able to service you when you run into something.
Yeah, I think so. So, I've seen issues come up that people have when, like, you order something and maybe it's not exactly what you ordered. Well, if you didn't buy that from the right people, they might not care. They might say, hey, this is what you get. Or, you really want the dealership you buy from to have relationships with the people who built it, where it came from, so that they can help you solve some of your problems.
That's right.
I'm not trying to tell you they're going to solve all your problems, but they will help. And if that's what they do, they might help you avoid that problem in the first place.
Exactly. But definitely they can be a voice for you and liaison between you and the builder on that side of it. So it's important. I agree. I think that's very important.
Yep. All right, so we found Nick. He's in the Sunshine State RV booth. Who would think that?
Who would have thought? I'm stuck in the corner back here. They don't let me walk around and talk to people
around your
anymore.
ankles.
I'm like stuck in the hot corner. There's no fan, no AC, nothing.
Oh, you're having fun. You're having fun. So I'm doing this video about the 5 things that people should think of. Like they decide, oh, I want one of these Class B camper vans. Everyone thinks it's so cool. I want to be van life.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't realize everything. Like even you and I met where I just jumped in, man.
That's exactly how we met.
Yeah. So I'm talking about that on this video, but kind of what we usually do videos together. I thought it would be interesting for people to see me not interrupt you. And then, and then me have my points over here, and then you have your points, just because, to see where do we agree, where do we differ on stuff.
Yeah, no, of course. People ask me this question all the time. The number one question that I get asked is, what's your favorite one?
Yes, I know, you told me.
What's your favorite one? What's the best one? What's the best one?
Yeah.
I'm like,
this is the one that everyone should buy.
That one's the best one. No, that one's the best one.
It would be the only one you carried.
Right. If it's the best one, I would just sell those all day, every day.
Right.
But people do come to us. There's some people. A lady came in here yesterday. She had a whole notebook with handwritten notes on both sides of like 4 sheets of paper.
Does that make you mad, or
she was so confused?
Okay,
she confused the crap out of herself. And then after walking around all this stuff, she was even more confused, didn't know what she wanted, left after driving them and seeing them and going through all her notes, just so confused.
I think I know who you're talking about because I spent some time helping her out.
I think so.
Yeah, and she was great, but yes, it's information overload.
Overload. Really is, you know. And then there's other people just say, I was getting my oil changed at the Hyundai dealership across the street from you, Nick. And I walked over and, here's on your $50,000. I want that one. I'm like, whoa, this guy is coming back next week to sell it to me. Which happens.
Yeah.
So there is definitely both sides of the spectrum. And then people have been looking for 5 years and still never buy anything. So
you've seen a lot of stuff.
There's no right way or wrong way. It's people's personalities.
Yeah.
The way that they've grown up, the way they've done business and all that. I think that I would say if you're wanting to do this and you decided on a Class B, I would say whenever I do anything, I want to go to the experts. I don't want to go to someone that has no idea what I'm doing who happens to have one. So my thing is I just bought a new car. There's a dealership in our town that sells the car that I bought, and they don't sell a lot of them. There's a guy in Jacksonville that sells a ton. So I went to Jacksonville and bought it. Yeah. Because I wanted to go to the guy who could get me.
More,
he knew more, better service. Their technicians are probably better. If I have a question, I can call him. The local guy, I wasn't very confident in their knowledge of the car that I wanted.
Yeah, that's true. That happens to me too. If I ask someone about something and they don't know,
right? I'm like,
you're selling these.
You want me to give you my check and you don't know what you're giving me? So to me, in my experience, people come to us all the time. Hey, I just bought this RV from dealer XYZ out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I saved $5,000 on it. But they didn't teach me anything. All this stuff's broken, and I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate my experience. And it starts off bad, and it just continues to go bad.
Yeah.
And
I think even like the short time I've been doing this with you, I've heard those stories with you too. So you must have been hearing that forever.
For years. Years.
Okay.
So that's when we decided we're going to be experts. We are going to be experts. We're going to know everything that we can about these RVs. And so that's kind of what made us the Class B destination that we are, because that was my goal, was to solve that problem. And so you asked me for my number one thing. My number one thing would be pick a dealer. Pick the kind of RV van and then say, you know what, these are the top 2 or 3 dealers I want to do business with. The top 1, the top 2, top 3, whatever it is. And then from there you can say, okay, what chassis do I like? Do I want a Mercedes? Do I want a Dodge? Do I want a Ford? Do I want, what chassis do I like? Look at some, call the service areas in your town and see what they work on. The Dodge dealer in Gainesville won't touch a ProMaster. Yeah. The Mercedes dealer is great. They're a block down the road. They work them all the time. Yeah. The Dodge dealer in Gainesville will not touch it. I have to drive an hour to get our Dodge.
Right. And I think the Ford dealer, you're on a 2-week waiting list. You have to have it there for 2 weeks waiting.
2 weeks. So I would say the second thing is pick a chassis based upon the size you want, based upon being comfortable in it, based upon the dealers in your area, will they work on them, what you like driving. So you pick a chassis. Most of these manufacturers, Coachmen, American Coach, Road Trek, they make RVs on every chassis. Most of them do. You know, a Ford, a Mercedes, a Dodge, all that.
Right.
So once you pick your dealer, pick your chassis, then pick the RV manufacturer that you like, that makes one on that
So
chassis.
the builder
of
inside
it,
of
the Coachman, the American Coach, the Road Trek, the Winnebago, whatever that is. I would encourage you to pick that. Then once you say, okay, I want to deal with Sunshine State RVs, I want a Ford, and I really like the Coachman. So I say, okay, then you say, hey, this is what I want. You find the dealer, you find the chassis, you find the builder, and then you find the floor plan. And you say, okay, after you whittle it down, that's the floor plan I like, that's the size, and then those are the options. And you kind of whittle it down like that. So so if I had to say 5 things, I'd say the dealer's very important. I would say next is the chassis, next is the manufacturer of the RV, and then the floor plan you like. And then if Hank is there to help you, I mean, if Hank will show up and give you a big hug and kiss when you buy your RV, then
if it's that Sunshine State RV, you're saying?
I would say it's worth doing no matter where it is.
You better get lucky.
No matter where it is.
Yeah, you better. People, I guess, expect me to be over there.
I mean, aren't you at our place every single day?
Every now and then I'm over there harassing you. I like to come at lunchtime.
Oh, no. You purposely come to interrupt my lunch. Purposely.
Listen, I don't have such a thing as lunchtime.
You don't have such a thing as a job.
I work for me. I work for me, so therefore no lunch for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, you guys want to have lunch or something. Like,
I tried to give you my healthy lunch, and you said you wanted a burger.
No, I don't eat. No, if I'm going to eat, I'm not going to eat healthy. What am I
Lola,
doing?
we need to fix this, Lola. We need to keep him alive.
We kind of need to get him a smoothie machine.
No. Nick makes his own smoothies.
I make my own smoothies.
He's terrible.
But
yes,
to me, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Dealer, chassis, manufacturer, floor plan. Those are the things that are important that can really make the experience or break the experience. I've had some people buy the best RV in the world from the worst dealer, and no one taught them how to use it. No one taught them anything else, and it's just a horrible experience. And they're like, "This isn't for me. I don't want it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you don't know what you're missing out on." And they're like, "No, it's just not for me. I had a horrible experience. I don't want the RV. I don't know how to use it. It's always broken. I don't want it." So. It just changes everything.
That happens to a lot of people. Lola went through something like that with BMW. She doesn't like them anymore. She used to love BMW, and then she went someplace. I think it was a West Palm Beach boat show, and there was a BMW, and they wouldn't even let her sit in the car, but they were letting other people. So that once you do that to a person, you make an imprint that goes, I don't even want that now.
100%.
So that's a big deal. Before I get out of here, I was actually talking with Nick from Coachmen about the same thing, because here at the show, Coachmen and Sunshine State RV did the Coachmen Beyond Owners Group, and there's 40-something vans over there. I was showing that. And
62, I think, to be exact.
Oh, okay.
62 was the number I was given.
62?
Of how many Beyond?
We did a count. I don't know if we saw 62.
That's what Dean told me. 62 are coming.
Maybe with people coming in and out, yes.
62.
Yeah, we'll see what the
official... It's the second annual Beyond Owners Rally.
Yes, and that's pretty big. Lots of people here are like, yeah, it's the second annual one. Last year you had about 10 or 12 out there, and now you've got...
You had just bought your RV
40-something.
Last year, you had just bought your Beyond a month earlier.
Yeah, something like that.
And then
weeks, maybe a month. Yeah,
something. But then you came here, you met a bunch of cool people, and now you're all in.
Yes, but I do want to thank you guys for doing that. That's a really cool thing to spend the money to set up a space for everyone to go there. You fed folks yesterday. There was music out there. You guys were down there. Some of those folks are coming over here and talking to people.
It's cool. Some of the owners are volunteering to come in the booth and help future owners. And say, hey, I'd love to answer some questions. So they got their big owner shirt on, and they're just working.
That's a good thing. You don't really see that often, and I just want to say, hey, that's a good thing. Yeah. And I think those guys appreciate it. I appreciate it. And people looking who aren't actually taking part in that, I think that's a good thing to see when you're getting into this stuff. I've seen that with the 144 Mercedes, right? Those guys get into groups, they go places together, they do all of that. So it's cool to see you and Coachmen encouraging that stuff. I think it's awesome.
It's great.
Yes.
It is.
I appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. Next year, 100.
100.
Yes.
Let's do it. 100.
And steaks for everyone.
Steak.
Yeah. Can I get you to commit?
There was beef there. I mean, that's a different part of the cow.
It wasn't steaks.
It was Four Rivers
I want
barbecue.
you out there doing steaks for people.
There's
man.
no
Grilling,
better. There's no
everyone
better
gets
barbecue.
a personally grilled steak from you.
There's no better barbecue in North Central Florida than Four Rivers barbecue, and that's what we had them drive an hour and a half from Gainesville to here to feed you.
You know what I noticed was missing? Ben and Jerry's. There was no Ben and Jerry's, man.
I gotta get some.
Yeah, yeah.
some.
Someone needs to do some.
It would have melted.
I would have liked some Ben and Jerry's.
I don't
Thank
mind
you very
melted
much.
Ben and Jerry's. It doesn't bother me.
All right, we're moving on before we get in trouble. Number 2, take care of the financing before you even go shopping. We are actually here in the Campers Inn RV booth, and they have Gretsch, which we took a look at Gretsch at the Florida Super Show, which was in Tampa, which Lola now is trying to tell me now that I messed that up the whole time, which she wasn't telling me that then. So let's see if we can go inside of this one, and we'll take a look at this, and we'll talk about financing. All right, so just take a look at the price of this. It's $219, right? Just to buy this. So, I mean, this is a big purchase, probably the second biggest purchase to a lot of people after buying their home, right? So you really want to think about financing. If you join me in this beautiful, comfortable Gretsch, I'll talk a little bit to you guys about that and tell you a story. Gretsch, by the way, very nice, very comfortable seats. I like the layout that they have. The floor plan is interesting. Everyone talks about the bathroom having a nice sink and a window in there, especially if you're not paying cash. You know, you want to think about the financing before you get to the dealership. And what happened with Lola and I is I decided I was going to do this, and I just jumped all the way in, and we went to the dealership. When we did the financing through them, we actually got turned down, and we had pretty good credit, but for some reason, whoever was doing their financing, stuff was popping up on the credit, and they were actually denying us. And we were kind of, you know, bummed out and disappointed about that. And then Lola spoke to her to a credit union, right, Lola?
Local credit union.
Yeah, local credit union, and 24 hours we had everything. So we put together our down payment, which is something you're going to run across with these. You've got to put down a down payment. You're basically buying a home, and it's looked at as a second home when it comes to financing. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be paying for this in 5 years or 6 years or something. It actually goes longer. Our term is what, 12 years or?
Something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be longer than that. So we had our financing within 24 hours. We had our down payment, and we bought everything. Although, so I think that was a little bit of a mistake I made. I don't really regret it or anything like that, but I think it would have been a lot easier if I would have thought about that before we went there. Sometimes, you know, whoever's doing the financing, you're locked into the banks they deal with and the interest rates and things like that. So especially if you have really good credit, you want to work all that stuff out with your own banks that you deal with before you go there and do it and get it all secured. And it's going to give you, I think, a little bit more leverage when, you know, you're making your deal or doing your buying. And even it's going to tell you what you can actually afford, right? So it's a really good thing, I think, to think about getting your finances all in order before you go to buy. Here, you want to take a look? Let's take a look at this, Lola. Come on. We'll show people. We already have a video on this, so we did something pretty in-depth with Gretsch, but this is, even here talking to folks at the show, a lot of people like the fact that there's a window in here, you know, in the bathroom. This sink is actually a little bit bigger than what you see. You usually see like half a sink or, you know, maybe 3/4 of a sink. And I really like this whole one-piece interior inside the bathroom here. So really nice. And it kind of gives you a feeling of it being bigger. You know, so that's something I think that Gretsch does that's different. And then also, if you close that door and come back this way, Lola, you'll see that Gretsch also has the cool
Marine grade flooring.
Yeah, they've got the flooring is cool. I have seen that in some other places, but they've got, you know, this this microwave, convection, and I think a couple of other things, right?
Right.
And now the reason why, if you want to look at this, the reason why this is down here and in this one versus some other vans where they can't put it, because putting it in a cabinet up here is not as easy to do, right? There's not enough space in these cabinets, but down here you have more room. So Gretsch kind of figured that out, and they still gave you a fridge. This one's a little bit smaller. Some people like a big fridge, but these are really cool. I think they only build on the Sprinter vans.
That's right.
So and I like the fact I like the option of having 2 seats up here. I've heard some people say they don't like that. In some of these, you can actually remove one if you're worried about access and just have an extra seat here for carrying someone. You know, my thing with that, if anyone wants to know, is that it's way more comfortable to sit up here than to sit in the back, especially in one of these bigger vans.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. Number one, the most important thing, I think you really want to think about what chassis you want to buy. You want to spend some time thinking about that. You need to think about, along with that, what's your budget? You know, what do you want to do with your van? Who's coming with you most often? What features do you like? That kind of stuff I think is really important. You want to factor that in. So I'll give you an example. If you want to think about chassis, there's 3 of them. There's the ProMaster, which is basically a Dodge. We're looking at one, or a Ram right here. This is a ProMaster, and this is front wheel drive. Okay, and it actually has about in the range of about 280 something horsepower front wheel drive, so it's really easy to drive these, right? It's smaller, and these are going to be more affordable. So even if you get one of these really nice, it's going to be more affordable. So that's why you want to think about chassis. Now if we flip it around here and look at, here's a Mercedes and there's a Mercedes, these are Sprinter vans. These are going to be probably the more expensive ones, but they're going to be bigger. You know, this, it looks like it's a rear wheel drive one, and so is that one, but with that, and I think this one over here is going to be a 4x4, right? So you want to think about all that stuff. Like, if you want it to be 4x4 and you want those kinds of abilities and you want it to be really big, like this one here is from Coachmen. It's the Galleria, and I really like these because, especially this floor plan, which I don't know, and you know, forgive me for that. We'll find it out here for you guys if you want to know. But this massive garage under here, to me, I love that, right? You can store a whole bunch of stuff in here. These beds actually go up. So if you want all that, it's going to cost you a nice penny, but I think you're getting what you're paying for as well. And then I'm going to try to find, oh, there's some Fords over here, Lola. Let's show. So you got Mercedes, and with Mercedes you can have the 144s, which is a smaller one, and those could be 2-wheel, 4-wheel. Then you can have a 170, which is in the middle. Coachmen doesn't do the 144 or the 170. They only do 177s, or the biggest, like the extended, when it comes to the Mercedes. But there are other companies, like American Coach does the 144. They're really nice. Somewhere in the middle of that, and to me, the one that I think is the best is going to be your Ford Transit chassis. That's what we're looking at here. So these get up. These pretty much have one size. So you have like they're not the biggest. They're the second biggest. You got the high roof on these, but these would have more power. You can get all-wheel drive on these. So when you're talking about power, like these go up to 310 horsepower, and the most you can get on a Sprinter van is like 188. So even a ProMaster would have more actual power than that, but the Sprinters are diesel. So for all of these reasons, you want to think about this stuff. So let's go into this one, Lola. So check it out. The Ford is going to be not as luxurious as perhaps a Mercedes is going to be, right? But you know, I find it really nice, very easy, comfortable to drive. It's got lots of features. And it's easy enough. I think the Mercedes has more tech, if anyone's asking my opinion. You know, so these are the things you want to think about, I think, when it comes to chassis. Do you need a lot? You might not, you know, someone listening to this might go, hey, Hank, I don't need a bunch of power. I like something being diesel, and it's got a lot of torque, and I want the biggest one that you could get, and I want it to be 4x4, not all-wheel drive, and I would say get the Mercedes. Or someone might say, I don't care about that. I want the smallest, lightest one I could get, and you know, the most affordable, and I would say get a ProMaster, right? This is how you think about it. So that's my advice on that. So I'm gonna wrap this up here in a few seconds, and or I don't know, in a little while, let's put it that way. But we're almost back here. I'll flip it around here. We're almost back. I'll let Lola take over. Here you go, Lola.
All right, so this is where we started this morning, and now we're back.
Let's walk the perimeter here before we go back in. Yeah, see, I think there's people who came in, people who left. You know, my closing thoughts, first of all, I'd like to know what you guys think. I know there's people out there who are more experienced than I am, either in RVs or vans.
And we tried to get some of those folks that are more experienced to give us their opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and we saw people here, we've seen lots of people. I've spent a lot of time talking to people here who are shopping for vans, and I'm encouraged to see that a lot of those people are really doing their homework and checking out a bunch of different things. So I like that, you know, and I like to see that. Look at this. We're just looking at the backs of these things. It's amazing. So if you guys do have other things you want to add to this list, please do.
Definitely share your thoughts in the comments so that others can come along and take a look at your comments and your tips.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to do that. You know, Lola and I will get in the comments and we will answer people's comments and stuff like that and try to help out how we can. I know this is a tough thing to do, but I hope you all appreciate it, and I really think we got some good, we got some good feedback. I didn't know if anyone was calling me. Hey, what's up? Okay.
Do you recognize these two?
I do not remember where I was, but just stopped off to talk to some of the folks, and those guys are actually, there's some folks in there buying a van, and that's part of what I said here in the video. You know, you come to the show. Hey, how's it going? So the cool thing about this is you can come to the show, you can look at the vans that the dealers have out here. If you've got a meetup like this going on with the Coachmen Beyond Owners group, you can even talk to people who own these things. Like, we're walking past a bunch of vans here, and everyone's got a different, like, that's cool.
The rigid toolbox.
Yeah, they've got rigid toolbox. Some people have got bikes, electric bikes, all kinds of different storage solutions that everyone has, including us. You know, I've got the Luminous backpack on the back of my van, so you can see, and I think that helps with if you have some trepidations about doing this. You can talk to some other people and they'll say, oh yeah, you know, I was worried about it, like Lola and I were worried. It happens, you know, and a lot of this helps, even if it helps you figure out that, you know what, I don't want to do this, I want to do something else. There's nothing wrong with that. So once again, I hope this helped you guys. Please leave your comments, your questions, and everything. Big thanks to Lola. Please subscribe here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope this helped out. I'm trying to like do things differently, you know, and maybe there's lots of people making great videos, I think, in my opinion, but I just want to see if I can do some different stuff and maybe help people think about something from a different point of view. So thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. We're back at our van, so we left the windows open. Here's my backpack I was talking about to you guys. So, you know, I've got like my shovel and the axe up here that Lola thinks is kind of funny. You know, until she needs one. But yeah.
I think that's funny.
Yeah. So we're going to like close up the windows, get the AC on, see how the temperature is in there, and get my batteries charged up and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. We're out of here this time for the realsies.